Checker.
Cunningham.
Get her the ball. Get her the ball. One more time. Cross. A logo again.
Oh, no. Whoa.
She's back.
Oh my God!
Dynamic
This isn't real.
player in the game.
What?
9 points in 38 seconds for
No.
Caitlin. She hit all 3 threes.
And not only 9,
What's
it's
going
30, but
on?
look at the depth
I
on
don't know. I'm
these field
living
goal
in-
attempts. She's certainly
Oh
feeling it.
my God.
Left side, right
No.
side. Now come back to your favorite spot
Oh.
again. It doesn't matter if there's a hand.
What am I-
The New York Liberty were steamrolling the league. As the defending champs, they weren't just winning, they were dominating. Undefeated. Untouched. Unmatched. No team had cracked their code, no scheme had slowed them down. They looked like a dynasty in the making, a machine on autopilot toward another title. But everything changed on June 14th. That's the night Caitlin Clark returned from injury, and what followed wasn't just a win for the Indiana Fever, it was a massacre. A full-scale basketball ambush that shattered 8 records in one single game. The Liberty's perfect season? Gone. Their aura of invincibility? Crushed. But the bigger shock wasn't that the Fever won, it was how they won. They didn't just beat the champs. They exposed them. They built a blueprint for championship-level basketball with Clark at the helm. If you were fired up for her comeback, come and see record breaker down below. Let's go.
Pulls left wing, the right wing, 30+ feet. Logo crosses over. Watch it. Oh my goodness! She is back.
Back in the lineup, I'm ready to go.
I think you're just excited more than anything. It gets kind of difficult when you prepare for a game. Obviously, when I'm on the bench, still knowing the scout, knowing everything that the other team's going to do, and still trying to mentally prepare and go through everything like I'm going to play, even though I knew I wasn't going to play. So, doing that, but also knowing I was going to be able to be active today, I think gives you a little extra juice. So I'm certainly excited just to get back out there, get playing, and really good opportunity for us at home here, coming off of a loss.
Imagine this, the defending champs, 9 games into the season, still unbeaten. The New York Liberty looked like they were running layup drills against the rest of the league. Game after game, they weren't just walking away with wins, they were embarrassing teams. Their defense was suffocating, their offense was precise, and their intensity? Ruthless. Opponents would enter the arena with hope and leave looking like they just played against ghosts. Liberty weren't playing basketball. They were executing a system with military precision. And nobody had an answer.
Liberty, there was obviously a frustrating ending. What lessons can you take from that experience, and how can that be applied to this, even though I know obviously Liberty look a little different with 2 starters out?
Yeah, I mean, I think certainly you take time and score situations, different versions of handling runs, offensively, defensively. Margin for error is small against a team like New York, and every play matters. Every time we send them to the free throw line matters. Every rebound matters. We can't afford to have empty possessions on the offensive end of the floor. You've got to play your A game.
It didn't matter how good you were. Teams came in confident, left confused. Coaches spent sleepless nights designing plays that collapsed in the first quarter. Star players who dominated all season suddenly looked average against New York. Their pick and rolls were like clockwork, their rotations flawless, and their defensive switches left even elite scorers trapped. The trio of Sabrina Ionescu, Jonquil Jones, and Breanna Stewart were moving like they had something to prove every night. Stewart could pull up from anywhere, Ionescu hit fadeaways with sniper precision, and Jones? She turned the paint into a no-fly zone. They weren't just winning, they were putting on clinics.
I think we continue to learn lessons from the first time we played them and from our last game against Atlanta, every single day that we move forward. I think they're a different team. Certainly we're going to be a different team having C and Sophie back on the floor. We're going to tip the ball up and go out, and we're going to give it everything that we have.
And the stats backed it all up. The Liberty weren't eking out wins, they were destroying teams. Blowouts by 20. MVPs looking like rookies. Their average margin of victory wasn't just impressive, it was terrifying. Even analysts on national broadcasts were starting to shift the conversation. It wasn't about who could beat New York. It was whether anyone possibly could. Sports shows ran segment after segment debating how long the streak would last. Headlines were being written in advance. This team looked inevitable.
Welcome to ESPN's coverage of the WNBA. The defending champion and unbeaten New York Liberty coming to town for the second time this year as we get ready for this game. And yes, she is back. Caitlin Clark will indeed be playing today. Missed the last 5 games with a strained quad, taking on the Liberty off to their best start ever. Sabrina Ionescu and company in this big Commissioner's Cup game as well. And as usual, all the seats are filled here.
Then came the Indiana Fever. A team limping through the season with injuries, lineup adjustments, and flashes of potential but no consistency. No one gave them a shot. The storyline was set. New York was about to roll into Gainbridge Fieldhouse and collect their 10th straight win. But what nobody accounted for, what even the Liberty didn't prepare for, was the return of Caitlin Clark. And when she stepped back onto the hardwood, everything changed.
We have an opportunity in front of us right now. I feel like this is like we're starting a new season. You guys, I'm so proud of how resilient we've been up until this point. We're going to continue to have to be. But right now, we have an opportunity to continue to take a step forward. Okay, this can be a springboard for us, right? We're marrying energy and effort with execution. Every single possession matters. Hit singles. Hit singles. Make the easy play. All right? Make one another better. Okay? It's our time. It's our time. Here we go. Together on 3, 1, 2, 3. Together.
You could feel it in the air. The buzz in the building. Something special was brewing. Clark was back, not just cleared, not just suited up, but ready. 48 seconds into her return, she made a statement that echoed across the league. It wasn't just her quad that had healed, it was her fire that had reignited. That short stretch would go down in WNBA history. What Caitlin Clark did next wasn't just spectacular, it was game-breaking.
And Cunningham is down behind the play, but they've got Caitlin Clark to fire away from 2 players with incredible up. Ball from Cunningham. Clark, another long 3. She's back!
The Liberty came in prepared. They watched the film. They studied her deep range. They thought they knew what to expect. But nothing could prepare them for what Clark unleashed. She hit 3 straight three-pointers that left defenders frozen and the arena gasping. The first came from 34 feet, and she let it fly like it was a layup. Net. The second? 31 feet. Boom. The third? Same spot. Same result. 9 points in 38 seconds. Not a single misfire. The Liberty's elite defense was paralyzed. They weren't just beaten, they were stunned.
Rebound, Fever, Cunningham got knocked to the floor. Caitlin pulls left wing, buries it. She is back. 24-18, Fever down. Caitlin now from the right wing, 30+ feet, good again. No one else but Caitlin Clark. Sedantis, handoff, Caitlin from the logo, crosses over, launches. Oh my goodness! Are you kidding?
The most dynamic player in the game. 9 points in 38 seconds for Caitlin. She hit all 3 threes. And not only 9 in 30, but look at the depth on these field goal attempts. She's certainly feeling it.
The Gainbridge Fieldhouse exploded. Fans were jumping, screaming, hugging strangers. The decibel level was through the roof. Clark's barrage didn't just ignite the crowd, it ignited belief. 9 points in under a minute? Most players don't even manage that in a full quarter. But Clark wasn't playing by normal rules. She wasn't back to ease in, she was back to dominate. And she became the first player in WNBA history to hit that exact milestone, 3 threes in 38 seconds. It was a record-setting moment that broke the internet and bent reality.
Help
Cunningham is
Kaylin
down
from the
behind
logo.
with
Oh
play.
my God!
But they've got Caitlin Clark to fire away from three.
Oh,
And Cunningham
logo.
just now getting up as she stayed down near the free throw line on the other end.
Oh! Okay, why did
Oh
he
my
take that?
gosh!
An ankle
Oh
injury
my
and then
god, and
Johannes
of
Berry.
course Marine Johannes
Two
countered
players
not
Green.
the logo. But this is why I
Kaylin
love
from the
NBA.
logo again! We got a shootout! We got a shootout!
Oh my
Again!
god! No!
Even Breanna Stewart, one of the greatest to ever touch a basketball, couldn't hide her reaction. As Clark drained that third bomb, Stewart cracked a smile. Not because her team was losing, but because she recognized what she was witnessing: greatness. When you've seen it all and something still makes you shake your head in awe, that's how you know it's special. Stewart wasn't just watching an opponent. She was watching a rising legend torch the league in real time. And that moment? It wasn't just about the shots, it was a signal to the entire WNBA. Caitlin Clark is back. And she's coming for everything. Mitchell grabbed the ball in the post. She and Clark have built an undeniable on-court chemistry. As bodies collided under the rim, Clark snatched the rebound, instantly flipping the script. Her outlet pass? A laser to Aaliyah Boston, perfectly in stride. Boston finished with finesse, laying it in as the clock ticked down on a breathtaking first half at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. The scoreboard read Fever 53, Liberty 50, but that was just the beginning. Records started falling like dominoes. Clark would go on to hit a career-high 7 three-pointers, each one pushing the Liberty defense further into desperation. No matter how they rotated or doubled, she simply rose up and buried shots from absurd distances. Timeout after timeout, New York tried to regroup, but nothing could slow her momentum.
To get it inside to Mitchell. Those two have such a great connection.
Rebound, battled for, Clark comes away with it. Caitlin, outlet to Aaliyah, in stride, right post, and she fakes it in. It's a dime from CC to AB. And that does it for a scintillating first 20 minutes at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. It's the Fever 53 and the Liberty 50.
Then came the historic moment that vaulted Caitlin Clark past a WNBA icon. Her final stat line: 30 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists. That performance marked her third career game with at least 30 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. For perspective, Candace Parker, 2-time MVP and 7-time All-Star, had only 2 such games in her first 2 seasons. Clark just surpassed one of the greatest to ever do it. She also became the 4th fastest player in league history to reach 850 career points, hitting that mark in just 45 games. Only Cynthia Cooper-Dyke, 38 games, and Simone Augustus, 39 games, did it faster. Clark is now standing shoulder to shoulder with the WNBA's elite scorers, and she's only just getting started.
I don't know if you guys have seen or heard, but Caitlin Clark is in fact back.
Caitlin Clark! Then steps back with the 3 over Breanna Stewart.
Clark's full stat line from this game: 30 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists, 7 made threes, had never been recorded by any player in WNBA history. Not Sue Bird. Not Diana Taurasi. Not Maya Moore. No one. This was a once-in-a-generation performance. She also jumped into second place all-time for most games where a player scored or assisted on 50-plus points. Clark has done it 9 times in just 45 games. Taurasi leads that list with 10 such games, but it took her 565 games to get there. If Clark continues this pace, she'll break that record before the season ends. She's not just rewriting the record book, she's redefining what's possible. Clark now owns the record for most 30-point, 5-rebound, 5-assist games in a player's first 2 seasons, passing Candace Parker once again. But this night wasn't only about Caitlin. While she set the court on fire, her teammates rose to the moment with her. This wasn't a solo act, it was a synchronized masterpiece. For all the talk about Clark's greatness, the real question was whether the Fever could rise as a team. The answer? An emphatic yes.
The New York Liberty came out and threw the first punch in this quarter. For the Liberty to make this a single-digit game has been impressive here.
I think the way we responded when they went on that run in the third quarter, like we had to figure out how to play through it and go on a run of our own. And in the past, like that's kind of where we would crumble. That's exactly where we crumbled. But today we really stuck together. We went on our own run.
Mitchell trying to blow by. Everybody does and gets the foul.
Bounce pass, right wing hole, wide open 3. Of course! Clark to hole, open lane, and she scores off the glass.
Caitlin challenged Sably and won it.
Lexi Hull exploded with career highs in nearly every category: points, rebounds, assists, steals, and shooting efficiency. She's been quietly having a breakout year, leading the league in 3-point shooting percentage while contributing all the little things that don't show up in box scores. But tonight, she made sure her name was in lights. Her spacing and accuracy from deep unlocked the floor for Clark, and when Hull heats up from beyond the arc, Indiana becomes almost unguardable.
Clark nails it. A 17-0 run. Caitlin Clark now with 7 threes on the afternoon.
I thought Sid was fantastic today. She makes 2 huge threes for us in the second half. Soph was fantastic.
Final score, Fever 102, Liberty 88. And Caitlin Clark's return. Indiana fans elated and amazed. The Fever are the first team to defeat the Liberty in 2025.
Then there's Aaliyah Boston, the anchor in the paint and now the only center in the league averaging over 4 assists per game. She's not just scoring or grabbing boards, she's initiating offense, reading defenses, and delivering dimes like a seasoned point guard. Her passing from the high post adds a dimension to the Fever offense that no other team has. Boston sees the court like a floor general, which makes Indiana's system nearly impossible to predict. Sydney Colson gave the Fever crucial minutes off the bench, delivering 10 points and 6 assists of her own. Every time the starters needed rest, Colson stepped in and kept the rhythm going. Her veteran presence brought calm in the chaos and poise in pressure moments. That kind of reliability off the bench is the difference between a decent team and a real contender. The Fever's depth isn't just serviceable, it's impactful. Ball movement was sharp. Defensive rotations were airtight. Every player knew their job and executed it flawlessly. The Fever dictated the tempo, forcing the Liberty into uncomfortable offensive sets. They disrupted New York's bread-and-butter pick-and-roll plays, eliminated mismatches, and flattened spacing. This wasn't just a highlight reel win, it was a technical masterclass. Head coach Stephanie White summed it up best: this group stays together. They lift each other up. They draw strength from one another. That team-first mentality? It's what transforms good teams into title threats. And on this night, Indiana looked like a championship-caliber squad in every sense.
Found Boston perfectly. Boston being very physical with Somali. Count it. Fake left, drive right, make it all look so easy. Blocked by Boston.
Here we go! Go!
It is shocking to see Kennedy Burke miss 1 3 this season. She's leading the league at over 60%, but to see her miss a couple. Count it. As Mitchell celebrates from the floor. Mitchell is simply such a great cutter, and this time going again from the right side to the middle of the floor. Colson head up, finds her, drops the pass. What a tough finish as well.
Go! Go!
Yeah! Good job.
No, that we get.
Good job. Squad needed it. Play Fever way. I love it. More of them.
This wasn't just a regular season win, it was a statement. The Fever exposed the league's top team and showed the world they've cracked the code to contender-level basketball. Clark broke 8 records. Her teammates set career highs. The Liberty's perfect season? Gone. The message? Clear. When the Fever are locked in, they can beat anyone. With this win, Indiana not only climbed to .500 on the season, 5-5, but also took control of the Eastern Conference and the Commissioner's Cup standings. The 2025 WNBA season just got a lot more real and a lot more fun. If you're hyped about Clark's return and what this team just did, comment CC Record Breaker down below. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss a moment. Hit the video on screen, and we'll see you next time.